What up? It's Jimmy from odds.com. We just broke down every single game on the NFL card starring Rob Bebenek, special guest, the Whale Capper. If you want to watch the whole video, it is exclusively on odds.com. Just hit the link on the bottom of the screen. It will take you right there. Let's move on to our last game before we have the Whale Capper. Cowboys, Vikings, 4:25 p.m. Eastern. Cowboys 2-7, 0-4 on the road at the Vikings now, 4-5. 1-3 at home. Cowboys coming in off their bye week. Let's see what we are dealing with here. The Vikings open up at Bet365 at -8. I know it's higher at some offshores. It's down to 7 right now. You can get a +7.5 at plus money. The total opened up at 46.5. It's now at 48. These Cowboys were last seen playing the Steelers tough in a 24-19 loss at home. Dallas has lost all 4 games since Dak Prescott was lost for the season. In his first start in 6 years, first start in his career, he was drafted 6 years ago. Garrett Gilbert looked good, 21-38, 243 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. I guess he looked good because the bar was very low. If you have high expectations on a movie, and it's generally shitty, and for this movie, I was expecting it to fall apart, and Gilbert looked pretty good. Now, the Red Rocket is back. Andy Dalton was unavailable because he was on the COVID list and the concussion. He's expected to be available this week. CeeDee Lamb, though, looked pretty good. Caught 4 passes from Garrett for 71 yards, 1 touchdown. Amari Cooper, 5 catches for 67 yards. So Zeke had the hamstring injury all week. We didn't know if he was going to go. He did run 18 times for just 51 yards. Tony Pollard ran 9 times for 57 yards. The big difference with these Cowboys was on defense. Van Der Esch and Sean Lee back patrolling the middle of the field. Cowboys looked pretty good. They held the Steelers to just 46 yards rushing. That was a big deal before we saw the Bengals hold the Steelers to 40 yards rushing again this week. Maybe the Steelers just have a real problem on the ground, and maybe Connor is just, I don't know.
I think the Steelers are dealing with a bit of midseason fatigue, and again, like any team that's at this stage of the season, they're still undefeated. That pressure starts to mount, and against weaker teams, it becomes more of a mental hurdle. So I think if anything, it's that Steelers team's kind of hitting a wall right now, but I expect them to surge late in the season.
Well, they're 9-0, but.
No, but they're 9-0, but they have not been winning impressively in the last couple of weeks.
Until last week.
Yes.
Diggs is expected, their cornerback Diggs, to be sidelined 4 to 6 weeks. Fractured bone in his left foot. Tyler Biadazi sidelined at least 2 to 3 weeks with a hamstring injury, and then Joe Thomas is questionable. Vikings coming off their 3rd straight impressive victory, 19-13 at Chicago. Cousins broke his 9-game losing streak on Monday night, going 25-36, 292 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Justin Jefferson caught 8 passes for 135 yards, tied Randy Moss's club rookie record with his 4th 100-yard receiving game. Dalvin Cook ran 30 times for 96 yards. I mean, he's putting up Peterson-type numbers. You got Randy Moss and Adrian Peterson being recreated here with Justin Jefferson and Dalvin Cook. The defense did not allow an offensive touchdown for the first time in 20 games. 2 sacks, 6 tackles for losses. They were without tight end Irv Smith. He had a groin injury. He caught 2 touchdown passes in the last game. Cornerback Cameron Dantzler still in concussion protocol. They're both listed as questionable, as is defensive end Jordan Brailford. Cowboys, Vikings. So I have a question that's worth, a possibility of multiple thousands on whether I should use the Chargers or the Vikings in my survivor pool. But I also want to know how to make money on this game. 7-point favorites are the Vikings, and the total at 48. Take it away, Bebsie.
Well, to be honest with you, again, this is another game we brought up before we started the show, and I feel like the value in taking Dallas is gone. I would love to see this swing back the other way and get bet up now. I'd like to see money come pouring in on Minnesota so I can hop back in and take Dallas. I don't like taking Minnesota with what they have right now. I do think if there is a strength with Dallas, it's their ability with that healthy linebacking group, Sean Lee, Van Der Esch, Jalen Smith, that's healthy. That's a solid group. Cook has just been on fire lately, though. So for me, value's going and taking Dallas. I don't have a ton of trust in taking Minnesota, especially with Dallas starting to get a little healthier. I don't know how much. I mean, they looked so uninspired, and I don't know if it was just because Dak had just gotten injured and they were just bummed out. Like there goes your season right away. Is that why they didn't play well with Andy Dalton? Yes, I know the O-line was also smashed up, but is Andy Dalton just not an inspiring guy? Do they not like him? I don't know. So the way the Vikings are playing, the way Dallas is, the Vikings are going to win this game. It's just a question of how much.
Cook looked spectacular to me yesterday.
All he did, that's all he's done is look spectacular. He's looked phenomenal, and Justin Jefferson has done an excellent job filling the void lost by Stephon Diggs. Justin Jefferson looks
definitely
incredible, and they've got a new 1-2 punch there. So
there were so many times, though, Bebsie, when Cook was going to be taken for a 3 or 4 yard loss, and he somehow would gain a few yards off it. There were so many times where he was only going to be a 1 yard gain or a line of scrimmage spot, and he got 5 yards. I thought it was as impressive as a running back performance I've seen in a long time. Everybody knew he was the straw that stirs the drink. He was the motor, and he was unbelievably good. I agree that the under is the play, but I'd be more comfortable taking the Cowboys team total under. Personally, a lot of great cappers in our chat right now liking the under, and I agree the under is the play. But what if we have a final score or what if it's 35-10 and the Cowboys get that late touchdown? If that's the case, if I think that's the case, obviously I should take the Vikings. What do you think of this total at 48, Bebsie?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue that the under is very much in play here. A lot of these great cappers making that call. It's hard to go against them. But yeah, I understand your reasoning and why you would like the Dallas team total under, because again, I don't know how well this Dallas team is going to play under Andy Dalton. I'm
going to take the team total under 19.5.
Yeah. I'm going to sit back and watch that again. I might join you Sunday because that does seem very much in play. But
and I understand the under. You know what? Dallas's defense.
And what's wrong with is Zeke going to play? I mean, it's not like he's played well this year.
I think he'll be good to go off the bye week. I think it'll be good to go with that hamstring injury off the bye week. I agree. I think the under is available. I also want the Dallas Cowboys team total under. And right now that under in this game has moved to 48. It's gone up 1.5 points. Interesting. Very, very interesting. And AP Indy says Vikes and Survivors ballsy. Cowboys have legitimate weapons and should be tightened up after making McCarthy look like a bum. Interesting. From AP Indy. Slots 45 says, Jimmy, exact same dilemma as you with Survivor pick on Chargers only because Vikes play Jags week 13. All right. This is as long as I've gone in a Survivor pool that I can remember, and it's just this weird season where so many teams are still rolling. Been no major upsets in the last few weeks.